So Lisa and I talked about a story where Lisa has the strength of empathy, okay, and a former colleague of, is it a former colleague? I made up a theoretical name for this former person. Let's call it Leslie. So Lisa and Leslie are in a room having a chat, and Lisa is getting a bit frustrated with Leslie's, what you used to call game face, I believe. And the game face was always being positive no matter what situation, right? Now, has anyone kind of got into that place where you get really frustrated? Or, you're not understanding, like you're not feeling my pain right now. This is not good. Let's not be smiley and happy. We need to do something about this. Okay? Like, we need to be upset. Feel my upset. So we've got empathy, right? And then perhaps we've got some positivity going on, but we don't know because that's an assumption. Okay? There's also perhaps a little bit of a look, in frustration there's a judgment as well, so, and that's natural. But let's get to the real point of things. Were your needs being met, Lisa? No. So if the need of empathy wasn't being met, then we need to say, well, how can we get around this, okay? And we just kind of spontaneously came up with a bit of a concept. Above the line and below the line, right? So below the line is where you're butting heads with your colleague or your customer or whoever, right? And you're just getting frustrated and you're perhaps judging them, you may be assuming what they are and how they're not doing a good thing, by you. And you've got Lisa going, why can't you just understand how I feel, right? Which is valid because that's what Lisa needs. And then you've got Leslie, who's putting on this humongous smiley face, with spiky hair and all this kind of stuff, and she's completely happy in every single situation, no matter what. What do you think their heads are doing with each other? They're butting, right? Like it's this horrible, between them. Or most likely, that's how Lisa's feeling, right? It's completely valid and real, okay? So, what is a way out of this? What transcends the butting of the heads? I'm going to throw
Well, because I'm analytical,
yep.
I would take all the emotion out of it and say,
yep.
what are the facts? What are we trying to solve? But then Lisa probably wouldn't like that because she still needs empathy.
Exactly. So be empathetic and put yourself in Lisa's place for a second. Right, and imagine how she feels.
I understand how you feel. I'd like to hear
Okay, I'm going to try and trick you a little bit here, but then if I make a statement to Leslie that I think you're being too positive all the time, X, Y, Z, what is that? It's a judgment, right? Yeah. It's an opinion as well, yeah. And I'm putting this massive wall of judgment and assumption and opinion in between us. When we put walls between us, what happens to communication? God, non-existent. So, get to the answer. The way to transcend above the line and below the line is to make a powerful request. Okay? It's not a question, because a question again may have a presumption in it. Like, Leslie, do you feel like you need to be positive all the time? Poor Leslie. No, but what could be an example of a powerful request? It could be, in my role, I take a lot of pride in what I do, so setting the scene, okay? In my role, I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I just need to know and feel that you get what's going on for me and how this is going to play out, because I take so much passion in that, and that's important to me. Something like that. So what I request is that you check in with, how this is meant to feel and how I'm doing along the way. That was quite verbose, but that was my fault. But can I request that you check in with how it's going for me, how you think it needs to look and feel, You know, make sense? The people that are nodding need to feel as well because we're feelers, right? And that's okay. So by asking that request, then all of a sudden this wall of assumption, perhaps it crumbles away, and then perhaps Leslie either gets more authentic and go, you know what, I can really see this has been a tough time in the project, and yeah, like it must be really hard for you and the team. I get that, and let me see what I can do to support you better.
I feel better already.
It's authentic, isn't it? Exactly. It's all
It's
real.
genuine, happy.
Here's a lesson.
Get it out.
So we just had a question that can you acknowledge that they're being positive and then ask the question? So if you ask me that question,
I appreciate that you're being positive, but I need you to do this, and this to
huh?
It's still offensive.
Yeah, it's am I on the front foot or the back foot?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, what do you mean you appreciate it? You know, like flaring me up a bit. You know. But can you see how, like, I can see that you're doing this. Oh, you're judging me. Oh yeah, you want to go? Like,
Well, there's
it's an
Take it, like, take it.
So thank you for asking it, because what it highlights is the circle of your personal responsibility, right? You can only ever be responsible for what you know about yourself and what you need in life everywhere. So let's not make assumptions, let's not do this, do that, but by just completely owning it and saying, hey, I did this thing called Gallup and I realised that I have empathy, and what I need you to do is just really check in with me and make sure that we have what we need and that you're seeing what's going on for us. Can I just ask that we have a little bit more of that? It's not about trying to superimpose every single situation. It's about to try and increase that awareness that we're on. Okay? So by being aware of what our strengths are, we can 100% own what's important to us and how we naturally are, and then just not make an assumption about our colleagues and go, no, this is me, it's one of my strengths and I just need a bit more of this. Can I just ask a bit more because I think we're going to get to the outcome that we need to. And all of a sudden it just melts things away, and you'll often find that you just start accelerating towards that. The beauty of being here as a group and doing this is the very fact that we'll learn about each other, right? And that's some of the kind of the stuff that we're going to get to in the afternoon, which is how do we bring diversity together and complement each other's skill sets. Being in line with what your strengths are and knowing that you would hope a lot of the time that your strengths can be expressed. That's very important to a fulfilling and happy life. We're going to work more on diversity this afternoon, and that's going to be the great opportunity, because we can do what's called reframing. It's a coaching terminology where we say, someone says, yeah, but problem X, Y, Z, and you can see that thinking like, but this is how I see the problem, and you take exactly the same thing, and you can say, okay, well, how can your strength of learning be used to apply to get out of this situation and make a powerful meaning of it? Cool. Try fitting all of that into a hashtag. Okay, right, good.